gentlemen, give it up for your headliner, Josh Wolf.
Yes, super. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I always love coming to Denver. It always freaks me out how fucking close you are. I always tell myself, remember, there's somebody basically sitting on stage. And I look, I'm like, fucking somebody sitting on stage. It's good to see you. Yeah, man, yeah. You just wanted to get a good shot of that right there? Get a little of that for you. Hi, how are you? Good? Looking ready? Yeah, good, okay, yeah. Well, man, first of all, just a sweatshirt. Somebody did, take it off. You first, ma'am. Somebody did ask me before I get started. They said, hey, there are a couple of older folks out there. Do you change your material for the age of the people in front of you? And no. And let me tell you why. Like, first of all, I think it's even insulting to ask that question. They're older, they're not children. But my grandmother is the one who knocked that notion out of my head. So the first time I ever performed in front of her, I was super nervous because I didn't want to swear in front of her, right? So she catches me backstage and she goes, "You look nervous." And I said, I am nervous. And she said, "Why are you so nervous?" And I said, I don't want to swear in front of you, Nana. And she said, "What word is it you don't want to say? Tell me." And I went, I don't want to say fuck in front of you. And she said, "Sweetheart, I had to fuck for you to get here." And I was like, shit. To the show? I'd have given you a ride, Nana. Shit. I don't need you on the side of the road like, my grandson needs to work. Fucked up. I'm so happy that I'm in a state where I can just put my edible on the fucking stand right there. It's so amazing. And by the way, I'm usually a pretty active comic, but seeing as how I got winded walking a block today, that shit's not happening. I've said it a million times over and over. But you guys, like, when you go down to sea level, do you guys fucking fight crime and shit? Like, you lifting up cars? I'm from Denver! Like, fuck. Doing that bit, I'm winded, okay? A couple things, and then we'll get into the jokes. Anybody who's ever seen me knows that I ramble a little bit up top. Okay. Somebody asked me a question today I'd never been asked. So I was on the phone, I was doing an interview with a friend of mine, a gay guy, and I asked him a question I'm sure he's been asked a million times. I said, one of the questions was, when did you know you were gay? And he told me, and then we interviewed and the whole thing, and at the end of the interview, he said to me, just out of curiosity, when did you know you weren't gay? And I was like, what? And he goes, was there a moment? I go, was there supposed to be a fucking moment? And then I started to think about it. I thought about it, and I will tell you, I think for most straight dudes, it's probably the same moment. This is when you realize you're not gay. Is when you're a teenager, and you're masturbating, and you look down at the wrong minute, and you get a little bit of your own cum on your face, you're like, I don't fucking like that at all. Right? Dude, that very first time your own cum hits your face, you're like, that's not my team, I'm not on that team. Pretty glad I found that shit out right now, I'll tell you that. And I called my brother and I told him that. He goes, yeah, man, that happened to me twice. I go, twice? Yeah, I knew I didn't like it enough the first time, you know what I mean? Like, twice, that means you leaned into it, dude. Like, And then I'll get into the jokes. So, I've spent the last couple months trying to decide if I'm a pussy or not, and let me tell you why. Anybody have like an old school father who's always telling you about your generation, your generation's a bunch, right? So my dad's been on me. So I've been trying to take inventory on what it means to be a man in 2017, right? And I can build some shit, and I can fix some shit, so I feel like for dudes in 2017, that puts me over the 50th percentile, right? I think so. Right? So I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Now, guys, I watch all of my movies on planes because I fly so much. I'm on there so much, I'm like, let's just see everything. So I recently, a month ago, I finally watched the movie The Revenant. How many round of applause people have seen The Revenant? Not a great movie to watch if you're trying to decide how fucking tough you are, right? Now, for those of you who haven't seen it, Leonardo DiCaprio set in the frontier. Dude is a bad motherfucker. He got fucked by a bear, guys. Like, that's not easy, right? You know what I mean? So I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, okay, what things from here do I feel good about? Oh, yeah, I could build a fire, which I can. Oh, I can do some hunting, which I can, right? I'm feeling pretty good as a man. And then there was one scene that made me feel like such a pussy. Do you guys remember that scene? You remember that scene where he eats that live bison heart? You remember that, where he eats the live bison heart, and he eats it like it's the best thing he's ever had, right? He's so satisfied, it puts him to sleep, blood dripping off his beard. He eats a live fucking bison heart. Do you understand? Like, if my banana's too mushy, I'm like, I can't. This dude laid a live fucking animal. If there's a brown spot on my banana, I'm like, fuck that. On top of that, right, my wife wears yoga pants every day. Every day. Yeah, right? So I said to her, why do you wear yoga pants every day? And she said, they're so comfortable. And I said, how comfortable could they be? And she said, you just gotta try them on. Don't shake your head, dude. I'm telling you right now, they're so comfortable! Oh my God, and your dick looks fucking huge in those things! I couldn't believe it. I was like, my dick always looks this big? And she was like, no, I've never seen it look like that. But it's amazing, and they're so soft. Nobody told us they were so soft. They're like what I thought unicorn hair might feel like, do you know what I mean? Like that. And they lift and they support and they separate in all the right places. Dude, I dare you to put them on, walk 50 feet and not get a hard on. I fucking dare you. It's like a little cotton blend hand job across my living room. It was like, I came 3 times before I left my house. I'd try those motherfuckers on. Lululemon! Like, I'd buy that shit now. I will tell you, one thing that's been happening to me lately, I would say over the past year or two, there's been a drastic shift in my life, and that shift has been this. I grew up poor, and my dad was a cheap motherfucker. And because of that, I missed out on a lot of experiences, you know? And I decided about 2 years ago that, like, you know, I found myself nickel and diming myself. Like, I wouldn't spend a certain amount of money on a concert ticket because I probably shouldn't. But then a year later, I didn't know where that $100 went, and I still didn't have the memory. So I tell everybody now, look, a year, if you don't decide not to go somewhere because it's going to spend $100, you don't think you can afford it. A year from now, you'll have no idea where that $100 went. But a year from now, you would have that memory of that fucking concert. So make memories, everybody. Make some fucking memories. You get one trip on this rock. That's it. So go do some shit. So listen, there was a concert in September that I was like, I shouldn't spend that money, but I was like, fuck it. All 6 of these bands or musicians were on my bucket list. It was called Desert Trip. And it was out where they do with Coachella. It was like old Cella. It was Coachella for old people. It was, did you go? So did you go? Guys, Stones, The Who, McCartney, Roger Waters, Neil Young, and Bob Dylan. All in the same place! Now, how many people in here have ever seen Bob Dylan before? Yeah, he sucks dick. He's so bad! Did he play any hits when you saw him? Not one fucking hit! He didn't play one fucking hit! Now play Tangled Up in Blue, motherfucker! I want a one hit!
And then some guy next to me was like, yeah, but he's Bob Dylan. He's earned the right to do what he wants. And I believe that's true if he's performing in his own fucking living room, but he wasn't. There were 90,000 people there who paid a fucking I will punch you in the face, you piece of beef jerky. Fuck you. Oh, you don't think I'll fight Bob Dylan? I'll fight Bob Dylan right now. I'll beat the shit out of that dude. I just want to hit him once to hear him go, I just want to see that shit once. Oh, I was mad. But on the way in, right, I told my brothers, I'm like, hey guys, I'm taking mushrooms this weekend. And they were like, which night? I said, did you hear me? This weekend. And they were like, why are you gonna, they go, you're gonna do that by yourself? And I said, no, there's gonna be 90,000 people there. And they were like, you're not, but you don't know any of them. I was like, well, I'm gonna. Now, okay, so, and by the way, I did it out of respect for the bands we were going to see. I felt like they would want me to be fucked up, right? So, I bet you out of curiosity, round of applause, and I'm assuming this will be a larger round of applause than in most cities, people who have taken mushrooms before. Okay, guys, I was in Huntsville, Alabama last weekend. I asked that question, and one dude goes, I got some on my salad right now. And I was like, yeah, not what I'm talking about. So after Dylan, I was like, I'm taking the mushrooms now. I'm not putting myself through another disappointing show. Now, following Dylan was the Stones, and I had never seen the Stones before. And so, and by the way, sitting next to me was this old Hispanic couple. And the dude had those, like the round, tiny glasses. And he had a tiny ponytail, you know, one of these. And it was pulled tight, so dude looked surprised the whole show, like. So, and she scratched his back the entire concert. Shh, shh, shh. 2.5 hours. Shh, 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 shh. So about 5 minutes before the music starts, I get my first little warm hug, and I'm like, I'm like, this is about to be the best night of my fucking life, right? And so the guy next to me, he turns to me and he goes, hey man. And I go, hey. And he goes, what's your name? I said, Josh. And he said, who do you think the best rock band of all time is, Josh? And listen, guys, I'm about to trip balls, right? So the last thing I want to do is have a conversation with the Mexican John Lennon. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm on Pasadena on that right fucking now, right? So I just tell him what I think is going to answer stop most conversation. I said, the Beatles. And he goes, whoa, man, it's the Stones. She and I have seen the Stones 66 times. Shh, 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 shh. And she said, yeah, and we re-fall in love every show. And I was like, yeah, that's sweet. And I said, that's going to be very cool for me to watch the Stones for the first time, next to people who have seen them 66 times. And I'm going to watch them re-fall in love right in front of my face that's about to melt off my fucking skull. You know what I mean? I felt like telling him, I hope you don't mind watching this concert next to the Ghost Rider, because I'm not for sure what's going to happen from here on out, you know? So, and then start in. Dun, 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 and I'm like, oh my God, right? I couldn't believe what was happening. Not kidding. 10 minutes in, dude turns to me and he goes, hey man. And I go, hey? And he goes, what's your name? And I was like, I said, Josh? And he goes, who do you think the best rock and roll band of all time is, Josh? And for a second I thought, oh my God, these mushrooms are amazing! I was like, this is the most visceral deja vu I've ever had in my entire life. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, for a second I thought, I can see the fucking future. Like, I know how this conversation ends. Oh, I'm gonna see this concert twice. Fuck yeah! Right? But we did the whole thing 66 times, re-fall in love. Shh, 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 shh. Not kidding. No joke. 12 minutes later, dude turns to me and he goes, "Hey, man." And I go, "Don't you ask me that fucking question again, dude." And his wife goes to me, "You'll have to excuse him. Shh, 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 shh. He's done a lot of drugs. He doesn't have any short-term memory." And I was like, "Well, no wonder you got to see the Stones 66 fucking times." And just so you know, you don't re-fall in love. He thinks he bangs some chick at the Stones concert every weekend. Like, not as romantic as you think it is, ma'am. I'm just saying. And I'll tell you something. Here was my true privilege of that weekend, and this is no joke. My true privilege, and honestly, what I would tell you my favorite thing of the weekend is to watch a generation of people watch their idols for the last time. Was so fucking cool, guys. Because you watched a generation of people party without inhibition. And they probably hadn't been able to do that in 20, 30 years. Do you know what I mean? No judgment. They were all there together to have a good time, and it was fucking amazing. And I'll tell you what was happening. There was a lot of old white guy dance circles popping up. Now, if you haven't seen one of those, you should. And when I say dance circles, there was a lot of two-gun salutes. You know what I mean? There was a guy next to me doing the pencil. I love that one. And then there was a dude, big guy, doing leg kicks like this. And I was like, fucking look at the big guy. He was killing it too. Having a good time doing some of this, right? And then all of a sudden, big guy just fucking collapsed. And I was like, oh no! He fucking river danced himself to death. Like, this dude's not getting up. No way, right? Older guy, probably 68. He's laying there, big dude. EMTs come, they roll him onto a stretcher, they fucking start to wheel him out. I'm like, look at this old dude, it's terrible, man, for this weekend to end like that for him. And one of his friends leans over to him right next to me and he goes, "You're gonna be okay, man?" And the old dude goes, "Yeah, I'm just tired." And the guy said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I was tired from dancing around, so I laid down." And then the EMTs came and said, "You got to get up." And I told them, "I'm not fucking getting up. I'm tired." And the guys told him, "If you don't get up, we're going to have to wheel you out of here." And he said, "That actually sounds kind of nice." So they wheeled this dude out to take a fucking nap. Rock and roll, right? And here's when things got a little weird. There was like a 280, 290 pound shirtless dude running up to people doing this. And I was watching him, and I'm like, oh, fuck. I really hope he doesn't come over here, right? And he comes over, and it's like, there's tracers coming off of his stomach. Like it's you know when you see a belly that size, and it moves all at once? So for those of you who've done mushrooms before, picture tracers flying off of that belly. I was like, oh, I'm fucking stuck. Like, I was like, I'm never gonna watch a band again. Like, however long he's shaking that motherfucker, I'm watching, right? And then he said something to me that I promise you has never been uttered ever before in the history of human beings. He shakes his belly at me and he goes, "Hey!" I go, "What's up?" And he goes, "How many knuckles deep you think you can go in my belly button?" I went, "What?" And he goes, "How many knuckles deep?" I go, "None. None knuckles deep, dude. 0 knuckles deep." And he goes, "Why not?" I go, "What? Why not? What do you mean? No, I'm not doing it." And he goes, "Everybody's doing it." And I was like, "Who? Show me one fucking person who's doing it." He goes, "Everybody's doing it, man." And listen, you guys have done mushrooms, right? It's a communal thing, right? And I don't want to be the only guy who doesn't finger fuck this dude's belly button, you know what I mean? I don't want to be Debbie Downer, like that guy wouldn't finger fuck my belly button. I don't want to be that guy, you know? So I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'll do it." And he goes, "Okay." And I go, "What finger should I use?" What's my first time finger fucking a dude's belly button, guys? I go, "I just want to make sure I'm doing it right, you know?" I'm a pleaser, and I don't want him to go home and be like, that dude pinkied me. So he said index. And I go, okay. And it gets worse. So I go to lube up my finger, right? And dude goes, you won't need any lube. And I was like, oh. Yeah, that's what I did, dude. I was like, fucking lucky me. Okay. So it just slipped right in, right? With room to spare. And I was like, well, big fella, we got some room. And he goes, okay. And I go to pull my finger out. And guys, you know when you put your finger in one of those Chinese finger locks? And it's easy to get in, but you pull it out and it kind of clamps down. It clamped down on my finger and I was like, oh, fuck no, right? I went full palm on his belly, like, and it just popped out, right? And as soon as it pops out, he looks at me and he goes, we finally found somebody to do it! I go, I thought you said everybody was doing it. And he goes, who would do that? I go, that's what I fucking said! Now, let's get to the honest part of this. Honest, if we're talking about honesty as a man. I had to fight every fiber in my body not to smell my finger one time. Don't owe me, you hypocritical motherfuckers. You graze your nuts, the first thing you do is smell them. Don't fuck you. And I had a unicorn on my finger. I was never gonna smell that shit again, you know what I mean? I didn't. No, I did not. No, I did not. I gave my brother Dirty Sanchez and I was like, you enjoy your weekend, baby. Dirty Sanchez, yeah. I like your sweatshirt. I almost brought my teenage son to that concert. I did, but I was like, I really want to do mushrooms, so. And if you're asking if I picked drugs over my son, yep. He's not as much fun as mushrooms, I'm telling you that right now. I will tell you though, he tells me absolutely everything. He told me that he smokes weed, and it was so funny. We were out walking my dog when he told me, and he goes to me, he goes, hey, I just want you to know, I smoke weed. And I said, okay, man. What can we talk about this when I'm not high? Yeah, I don't know what to tell you except stay out of my top drawer. That's all I can tell you. You know, medical marijuana is so easy to get in LA. I know you guys can wreck. It's so, in other parts of the country, it's so hard. In LA, it's so easy. Let me tell you, I went into the doctor's office, right, with this whole story planned, I remember, and you didn't need it. On the wall, in the lobby, is a poster that has all the lists of any symptom you could have where he would give you the script. It's a cheat sheet, right? All you gotta do is say one of those words. So I was like, oh, that's easy, right? And you ever do this? I walk in, and it was in alphabetical, and I go, I'm just gonna memorize the first one. Got it. What the fuck was that again? Right, yeah. So I thought I had it, alphabetical, first one. And I go into the doctor's office, and he sits down and he goes, Mr. Wolf, so what are your symptoms? How can we help you? You feel like you need medical marijuana? And I just blanked. But I remembered it was the first one. So I was like, autism? And he was like, He said, you mean anxiety? I go, that's it, anxiety. I got anxiety. I'm scared I'm gonna get autism sometime. Can you just give me my fucking card, please? Yeah. He does tell me everything, man. He told me the first time he touched a boob. It's crazy. He comes home serious as fuck. Comes home, he walks into my room, he's like, hey. I said, what's going on? And he goes, and I walk up to him, I go, what's up? He goes, no. Outside. Now, when he said outside, I'll tell you what I thought was happening. What I thought was happening was, I thought he had hit that point in time in his life that every man hits, where they look at their dad that very first time and they think to themselves, well, I could beat the fuck out of this dude. Right now. Not every guy does it, but you look at your dad at least once like, oh, tell me to take out the trash again. Tell me to take out the fucking trash again! Right? So we were walking outside. I was tightening up my 2 shoelaces. I'm like, oh, it's fucking on. Okay, here we go, right? And I was planning on just poking him in the neck once really hard to slow him down. So we could talk a little bit, you know, where he could catch his breath and we could talk, right? And we get outside and he's like, touch the boob. And I go, yeah, what do you think? He goes, well, I'm definitely gonna try to do that again. Did anybody in here, any guy in here, wrestle or fight their dad? Anybody? You did? How old were you when you did it? How old were you? 7 years ago? How old are you, dude? 38? That's just beating up an old man at that point in time. Get out of the chair, old man. God, can't get out of your fucking chair! Well, you gotta go in when you think you can get a shot. That's all I'm saying. So, how'd it go for you? I hope you won.
Joined the army after that.
You what?
Joined the army.
Oh, you joined the army? After you beat up your dad, you joined the army? Why, is he buried somewhere where you needed to... Somebody gonna find this body soon. I guess join the army, I guess. Did anybody else not go into the old person's home and drag their dad out by the fucking neck? Anybody else fight or wrestle their dad? Anybody else? How old were you, man? How old were you?
I was like 7 years old.
7 years old? What the fuck is with you two? You know, not a lot of muscle tone when you're 7, you know what I mean? To be growing... Who'd you grow up with, Michael Jackson? What the fuck, dude? 7 years old? How did that go for you?
So he was my stepfather, and he was an alcoholic.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Well, now I feel like an asshole, don't I? Let's get back into this guy, right? What a dick. Did anybody else? Not a fucking child and not an old person? 11? That's still young, too. Well, you're bad motherfuckers up here, huh? And how'd it go for you at 11? Not that well, huh?
My dad was huge compared to me.
Yeah, because you were 11, dude. Every grown-up is huge.
I thought I should like be a pussy and trip him.
Oh, you tried to trip him?
Even when he was down. Yeah, no.
So your whole strategy was to trip the grown-up and hit him when he was down. That didn't go that well for you, did it? No.
Heads to the wall.
Yeah. Hard to trip a grown-up at 11. Yeah. Now listen, I grew up with 3 older brothers. We all went at my dad at one point in time. But, you know, we did it when we were teenagers. So, we didn't... We didn't knock the Metamucil out of his hands and fucking beat the shit out of him. your teeth back in so I can knock those out again. I remember, so me and my two brothers were in my room playing. And we were all under the age of 10. I was probably about 6. And my oldest brother was about 14. And none of us had ever thought about fighting or wrestling my dad before. That's not something that we, you know what I mean? And so it was out of nowhere. And my brother just walks in confident to the room. He walks in and he goes, I'm fighting Dad today. And we were like, you're fighting Dad? And he was like, that's right, I'm fighting Dad. You guys got my back? And we were like, fuck yeah, we got your back. And he goes, you guys ready? We're like, yeah, we're ready. We're getting ready. And he goes, there's gonna be some new rules after today. And we were like, yeah, new rules. Fuck that guy. I'm eating cereal for dinner. Fuck him, right? We were going crazy. Oh, I thought there was gonna be a regime change, guys. I needed to be on the right side of that motherfucker, right? Oh, he was riling us up. We were walking down the stairs. I was grabbing pictures of my dad off the wall. Oh, it was Lord of the Flies in that bitch, right? We were fucking going crazy. He was like, let's go. And we were like, yeah, here we go, right? So my dad's out on the patio. And my brother walks outside and he goes, and my dad's smoking a cigar. My brother walks outside and he goes, we're fighting today, old man. And my dad stands up and he goes, okay. Now, in hindsight, my dad's confidence should have been a bit of a red flag for my brother. Because that dude didn't even take the fucking cigar out of his mouth. So he knew he wasn't getting hit, you know what I mean? He was like, yeah, okay. And my brother goes, and let me tell you something. And before he could get another word out of his fucking mouth, my dad kicked him in the nuts so hard. He was like, and he fell on the ground, and my dad just walked up to him and goes, you know you shouldn't talk when you fight, right? And walked in the house like a fucking gangster. And we all walked by him like, yeah, you shouldn't talk when you fight. Well, I'm not hanging outside with the loser. I gotta go inside with the winner. Like, but it's not a problem. Like, that wrestle for power in the house happens with boys. It didn't happen with my daughter. It was a different struggle. Like, I generally don't understand like a word that's coming out of her mouth. That's the problem. Like, we'll be in my living room and she'll be like, oh my God, daddy, okay, daddy, okay, daddy, oh my God, oh my God, daddy, oh my God, daddy. It's like having a fucking dolphin in my living room. And I remember, she tells me everything too, right? I remember one time she came home and she was like, oh my God, daddy, I have to tell you something so important, daddy. Oh my God, daddy, okay, daddy, okay, daddy, okay, daddy. Oh my God, daddy, okay, daddy, oh my God, daddy, okay, daddy. Oh my God, daddy, okay, okay, daddy, oh my God, daddy. Okay, daddy, oh my God, daddy, okay, daddy. Oh my God, daddy, oh my God, daddy, okay. Chris tried to kiss me. And I said, oh my God. I said, what happened, babe? And she said, oh my God, daddy. I told them I wasn't sure if I was allowed to do that. I had to go home and ask my daddy. And I was like, you know what, baby? Thank you very much for asking. Look, I know you're a teenager and your hormones are raging. I know you're very curious. And I'm not going to tell you what to do and what not to do. I don't think that's my job as your father. My job as your father is just to tell you what I know. And what I know is that God doesn't let little hookers into heaven. Do whatever you want to do with that information, babe. You think I want her hanging around teenage boys? Guys, and here's the thing. I know some of you are like, is it a double standard with your son or your daughter? Fuck yeah, it is. Yeah. I will proudly tell you that. And listen, unapologetically, because young men are fucking savages. And it's not their fault, but they're savages. They're fucking Guys, look, when a part of your body for 5 years of your life acts on its own accord. When a part of your body, for no reason during math class, is like, let's get up. And you're like, what the fuck? I remember being in math class looking around like, and my teacher used to think I was cheating. I was just seeing if anybody else was hard. I'm like, what? I guess nobody likes geometry as much as I do. But yeah, here's my best example of why young men are just worse than young women, okay? Here's the best example I can give you. And why they're just animals. When I was younger, I used to play a game called Hang Brains. Does anybody know what Hang Brains is? You do? So, and listen, guys, your nutsack, when it just hangs out of your pants, looks like a brain. So we used to play a game called Hang Brains, where 3 of us would walk into a bar, and the last person who got his nutsack noticed got free drinks for a night. Now, I know it sounds stupid, but I'm telling you something right now, so fucking funny. It just looks like the 3 dudes have like a pack of Big League Chews stuck to their fucking jeans. It's so funny. And here's the thing. Here's why it's different. Not only is the fact that as a man we think that's funny, but I'm telling you guys right now, I have gone 17 minutes in a crowded bar. Because women, when we walk into a bar, the first thing you do isn't look at our nuts. Because you're not fucking animals, okay? You're not now eventually somebody's like, his nuts are out, right? And I'm gonna tell you the truth, most of the time, you know who noticed? A dude. Hey bro, your fucking nuts are out. Not a woman, a dude. Conversely, if a woman walked in here right now, in this dark room, with, you okay? Okay? If a woman walked in here right now, dark room, you can barely see anything. But if she walked in here and she had a 1/16 of an inch of an areola showing. Forget that. If it was like an areola shadow. If there was if there was a mole touching the areola. So if there was a moleola, right? We don't even need to see the areola. We just need to know something is touching the areola, and we can see that. If a woman walked in here with a moleola, within 7 seconds, every dude in here would be like, you see that fucking areola that just walked in here? You see that moleola? Because we're savages. Dick out, nothing. Moleola, dark room, every dude's like, oh my God, I'm going to jerk off to a moleola tonight. Like, some dude's going to go home and Google moleola right tonight, I guarantee you, just in case it's on Pornhub. He's going to be like, I'll take a look. I'm not. Animals. And that's why I don't want my daughter. Like, no, it's not. Okay, here's the best. Like, my son is a teenager. Okay? And like, who has teenage boys in here? Anybody? Yes. So, first of all, how fucking gross are they? His room smells like he's been baking feet in there for fucking 2 weeks. It's like feet with onions and semen sprinkled on top. That's what his room. You walk into his room, you're like, what's up, What's up, And you know what happened to me? The grossest thing? I'm walking to his bed the other day. I'm like, hey man. He goes, oh, don't step on that sock. I was like, fuck you. I mean, put your nut rag under your bed like the rest of us, right? It looked like someone had a pencil under a sock, right? And he was like, it's my room. I don't fucking care if it's your room. Like, I don't want the bottom of my foot to get pregnant. Like, but like, They're so gross and they're dumb. My son, okay? All right, and then we gotta move on because I want to sing one new song. My son, ready for this? So he's not super bright. And at my house, cleaning out the trash is one of my jobs. So I go into his room to empty the trash can, and there's 12 rubber wrappers and rubbers in there. And I go, yeah, that's the look I had too. I was like, that's a good week's work right there. Definitely a teenager. My age, I'm like, listen, you can hold on to those other 8 because that's not happening. So I call him in. I go, hey, man. And he's like, yeah. I go, first of all, I thought we were going to talk before you had sex. And he goes, no, we are. It's something completely different. And I was like... I was like, what? He goes, well, if you must know, I think I'm going to have sex soon, so I'm just practicing putting them on and taking them off. And I said, dude, why are you doing that? And he goes, Dad, I've never had sex before. I don't want it to take so long where I give her a chance where she could change her mind. I was like, you know what, dude? You're not that stupid. That's pretty smart, actually. Now, somebody asked me to tell this story, so I certainly will. I have a favorite practical joke. I love practical jokes. They're like my favorite thing to do to people. I like being the recipient, too. Like, a good practical joke, I'm on board for that shit, too. And my kids know that I scare easy. By the way, I scare my kids and pull practical jokes on them. I want you to know that I scare easy. I'm a jazz hander. Now, my daughter has more videos of me doing this. Ha! Fuck you! Because my always follows with a fuck you. Because I try to get a little more manly after my fuck you! So, I love practical jokes. This is my best one ever. My buddy asked me to throw him a bachelor party. And I was like, man, you don't want me to do that. I said, I'm a comedian. I always go for the laugh, and then I hope we can shake hands and be friends later. But I'm going to fuck up your day. And he was like, I don't think you'll do that. I said, I don't think you're listening. I'm already trying to decide how to fuck with you, so... Can we just, like, not have me do it? And he was like, buddy, you've been to Vegas more than any of us. You planned the party, you get the girl. Now, look, I got him a girl for the end of his party. That's what he wanted, a stripper. I'm not a stripper guy. I never have been a stripper guy. I don't really care. But he wanted a stripper for the end of his party. That's cool. I wanted the beginning of the party to be for me. And what did I want to watch? What do I like way more than strippers? I like weird shit. Guys, if you're like, hey man, this is about to be some weird shit happening in an alley, I'll be like, I'm gonna fucking watch that. 100%, I love it. How weird? I wanted people walking out of his party like this. What the fuck just happened in there? Like, was some guy walking out with a limp? Like, why are my hands dirty? Like, weird shit, right? Where did I think I could find that? I went on Craigslist in Vegas. Oh, guys, I have never felt so horny and sad at the same time in my entire life. Scrolling through. It's all sex stuff. I don't want that. I want weird. And then weird jumped off the screen at me. This woman's advertisement was 3 words. That's it. And those 3 words were, I'll wrestle ya. And I was like, fuck yeah, you will. That at least deserves a phone call, I think, right? I call her on the phone. She is 6'250". And her special skill is that she'll come over to your house, she'll get naked, and she'll toss you around for a little while. And I was like, well, what time can you get here? So she shows up, and I open the door, and she's legitimate 6'250", right? and she's holding a foot-long sub and 24 buffalo wings. Not kidding. And she waves them in my face and she goes, "You got a room where I could go fuel up before the match?" And I was like, "First of all, fuck yes I do, right in there." And I said, "Second of all, you should know that the person you're wrestling today doesn't know there's gonna be a match." You know, I don't know if that changes your professional approach at all. So she goes off into her room. My buddy comes over, and we've got him on a stool just like this one. And my other friends are standing behind him, and we get him blindfolded. And he's, well, I don't want to ruin the surprise, you know. And he's like, "Oh, this chair is one Ralphie May away from an accident. I'll tell you that right now." Oh. You don't think he knows he's 900 pounds? He fucking knows. Look at this. So, he's sitting there and he's like, "I'm so excited." And I was like, "Me too." And he says, "I'm ready." And I said, "Okay," and I call her out. Now, none of my other friends knew what I had planned. So when she walked out of that room naked, collectively they were like, "What the fuck?" And as she got closer, I saw she still had buffalo wing saws around her neck. And I was gonna get her a napkin, but I was like, "I'm sorry, that shit is too funny on your face. I am so sorry." So she stands in front of him, 6'2", 250. Oh, I forgot to tell you the best part. My buddy, 5'8", and 140, and like a woohoo, like a soft 140, right? So the size difference alone, like I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna fucking like it. And he says, "I'm ready," and I said, "Okay," and I take off his blindfold. And the only word he could get out of his mouth before she ripped him out of his chair was, "Why?" Right? And she lifted him up like this. His little feet were dangling in the air. She started to toss him around the room like a rag doll, and we were all like, guys, she would jump on top of him, and he had to push her fat out of his face to talk to us. He would be like, "Tell her to stop. How long is she gonna be here? I can't breathe. Why does she smell like buffalo wings?" Right? There was one time where she was straddling him like this, beating him in the face with her titties. Just. I don't think you're getting the right visual. Okay. Guys, this isn't 5'2", 110-pound, bink, bink, titties. This is 6 foot, 250, just. Titties. That's how big her titties were. They made that noise through the air. It was like being hit with a tit missile, just. Dude had a swollen eye from titty punches. You'd never seen that in the history of fucking never ever, I'll tell you that right now. So she thinks her job is done, right? She walks over here to this side of the room. My buddy gets up mad. You know when you can tell someone is mad where they never take their eyes off of that thing they're mad at? So he gets up and he walks away from her like this. And then something in him just snapped. And he just looks at her and he goes, "I'm gonna fuck you up." And like a wave of calm crashed over her, like serious, like Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon calm. She was just like, and they ran at each other. Guys, you understand what's happening? They're fucking fighting for real now. It's the best gift I've ever given to myself ever. Are you kidding me? They're running at each other. I'm like, I don't even know how this is gonna end. Oh my God, right? They're running at each other, and my buddy was mad, and he screamed, I want to take you down! Running at each other, full speed. And he ran into her. I'm gonna tell you something, he really did try to take her down. I'll tell you what, he did not. All I can tell you is that when his little body hit hers, she kind of absorbed him for a second, and he disappeared. I was like, where the fuck did he go? And then she just boom, shot him out across the room. Boom, and he slid on the floor, and one of my friends ran up to him and went, that just fucking happened to you! And she was mad that he challenged her or something, so she goes to us, you want to see my finishing move? You want me to finish him? And I grew up with Hulk Hogan and Randy the Macho Man Savage, so I was like, you fucking finish him! I didn't know if she was coming off the top rope or dropping a leg or whatever. I wanted to see that shit, right? So she starts to run to him, and she was like, finish him? And we go, yeah! She goes, finishing move? And we go, yeah! And she goes, you want to see the finishing move? And we go, yeah! And then she sat on his head, and we went, no! Not that finishing move, fuck! Guys, his little head disappeared. All you could see were his tiny arms slapping her back, like... Oh, it was a fight for life, I'm telling you that right now. It was the weirdest shit I've ever seen. It was like a reverse birth. It was fucked up, that's all I'm saying. And here's how you know you pulled a good practical joke. A good practical joke is a joke that continues to pay dividends long after the joke is over. So, like a month and a half after the wedding, after the party, 2 weeks before the wedding, I ran into his dad. And his dad goes, hey, you're not coming to the wedding? I was uninvited to the wedding, by the way. Totally worth it, totally worth it. You guys want to see how he uninvited me? This is my favorite part. This is how he uninvited me. She just got off of him. And he stands up and he goes, you're not coming to the wedding! So here's how his dad goes, you're not coming to the wedding? I go, no. And he goes, why not? And I said, Tim didn't tell you? And he said, no. And I go, well, do you got a couple minutes? Sit down, sit down. And then his dad used that story as his best man speech at the wedding. Fucking winner. All right, let's play a couple songs and let's get you out of here, all right? Now listen, I want to be honest with you. I'm not a good guitar player. I play twice a week, 7 minutes at a time. But I'm going to play one new song. And guys, just like the rest of my act, you know, I tell people all the time, hey, you're going to come to the show tonight, I hope you're not expecting to learn anything. Like, my shows are just supposed to be fun, right? And these songs are just silly and fun, so I hope you like them. And while I set up, I do this all the time while I set up. If anybody has any questions about anything I've ever done, anybody I've ever worked with, now would be the time to do it until we're ready to sing. Anybody any questions?
Where do you live?
What's that? Where do I live? Does anybody have any non-creepy questions? Or... I live in California. California.
How's working with Chelsea?
How's working with Chelsea? People ask me that a lot. Listen, you know, it depends on who you are. Because like I said, 3 older brothers. So honesty doesn't bother me. And honesty repeatedly in your fucking face. It doesn't bother me. What she holds maybe the 3 most important characteristics that I look for in people, which is honesty, loyalty, and generosity. And she has all 3 of those in spades. So for me, working with her was great. For some people, That honesty was a little too much. Look, not kidding. Right now I probably weigh, it doesn't matter what I weigh. But I was 194 pounds, and I'm walking up the stairs in front of her at work, and I didn't know she was behind me, and all I hear is, fucking gross. And I turn around and I go, what's up? She goes, your ass is fucking gross. I go, what are you talking about? She goes, it's all fucking unorganized. And I was like, well, I guess I'll lose some weight. That's a good idea. Okay. Anybody else? Do I want a beer? Huh? Did you say relax?
Yes, you do.
Agreed. Yeah. She's gonna pay for it. I'm not.
Right.
Yes.
I will tell you what, I would drink a shot of tequila. But that just means somebody has to be willing to get pregnant. Any other questions before we get going? Who's my favorite comedian?
Yeah.
All time or right now? Sam Kinison, all time. I would probably say, because I know him so well, and I know the journey is so important to me. And so knowing where he started and knowing what he's been through to where he is now, for me, it's Joey Diaz. Yeah! So, if you don't know his story, it's pretty remarkable. So, yeah, for me, it's Joey. And one more. What was that?
Your shirt. Does it mean something?
My shirt doesn't mean something. It means I sweat on stage, so I wear black shirts. Oh, thank you. You know what's funny? You know you have a good job when you do a shot and people are like, yay! Yay, he's drinking, yay! Fucking great job. All right, so this song is new. It's the first time I've ever played it without a notebook. So we'll see what happens. And then I'll do one other song. And because I'm going to run a little late, here's what I'd ask you guys to do. Round of applause, people who've waited tables before. Good. All right. So I don't have to tell you I'm preaching to the choir, but I do not sell merch at my shows. The reason I don't is because I always ask people to spend, if you were going to spend any extra, to spend it on your waitstaff. Whenever I see rooms like this, right? As a waiter or waitress, when I would walk into a room like this, I'd be like, oh, this tonight? I could pay rent with tonight. You remember those nights when you waited tables? You were like, oh, this is a fucking rent night. So what I always ask people is, just so you know, 15% is not acceptable. That happened in 1984. It's not a livable percent anymore. It's got to be 20 and go up from there. But I would ask you guys this. And just remember this. If everybody in here left an extra, at least $2, not per table, not per tab, per person. How many times can you say you spent $2 and you made somebody's night? You would make somebody's night. If everybody in here spent an extra $2, the waitstaff would leave here like, oh my God, this was the best night of my life. Guys, that's the ability you have with $2. So let's all tip the waitstaff a little extra, all right? And also, after the show, where do we do pictures? Upstairs? All right, so guys, I'll be up there a couple minutes, and you can let me go back and change my shirt and get a little higher, and then I will, and then I'll see you up there and wait for me and all that stuff. All right. So this song I wrote. Started writing around Valentine's Day because my wife just puts too much time and effort into gifts. And I keep telling her it's pretty easy. Like you're out thanking yourself on Father's Day and on my birthday and any other time you give me a gift. It's pretty simple. So this song is not only for my wife, but it's for anybody who's looking to get a gift for that special man in their life. And this pretty much covers, I think, everybody. And it's simple and easy, and you can do it anytime you want. It's what you're thinking, but there's a twist. Again, not a good guitar player. We'll see what happens. Okay. You're always so thoughtful. Gifts on my special day.
asking friends and family about things that make me feel great. Let me try to help you. Let me ease your mind, 'cause it's pretty easy. I'd just like a blowjob and a sandwich. Let me save you some time. I want a blowjob and a sandwich. I don't need another fucking tie. And I haven't worn cologne since the 8th grade. You and your sister use the couples massage. I want a blowjob and a sandwich. At the same time. At the same time. At the same time. Timey, 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 time. I like turkey on wheat. I like ham on rye. To make your day complete, though, there's one more thing that I'd like to try. Now I know when guys say try, women always think that we're talking about anal. And that's true. But not this time. I just like a blowjob and a sandwich. While I'm watching TV, turn on ESPN, March Madness. Watching men dribble balls up and down the court. Now I know on your special day, I'd give you anything that you need. Trips, jewelry, or clothing. I'd bring the moon down to its knees. But you don't have to tell me. I know what you really want. You want me naked or washing dishes in a Ryan Gosling mask, rowing boats in the rain, telling all of my friends quotes from the Notebook over again. I wrote her every single day. Anybody know what the what end of the Guns N' Roses song that was? I don't know if my voice, if I'll be able to do this in the altitude, but let's see. All right. Blowjob and a sandwich. Yeah. A blowjob and a sandwich. Yeah. A blowjob and a I just want a blowjob and a sandwich while I watch TV in bed. I promise not to get any crumbs on your head. I just want a blowjob while I watch some TV. That'll feel so fine to me. And a blowjob, yeah, and a sandwich. Ooh, blowjob, yeah, sandwich. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you very much. All right, let's do one more. We're gonna tip our wait staff. We're tipping our wait staff. Yeah, good. Okay, one more. All right. Shit.
Okay. Wait, staff, don't hate me. Okay, here we go. I did this. I wrote the song after I talked to this girl I went to high school with. And I remembered when we were in high school, we had decided we were going to be each other's firsts because we were the last two virgins that we knew. And I remember when we were in high school, I called her. I was like, you know what? We should be each other's first, like, because we went to preschool together. So I've known you forever. Like, you can't do anything to embarrass yourself in front of me. I can't embarrass myself in front of you. Let's be each other's first. And she said, you know what? That's a great idea. We're going to be each other's first. This is going to be a magical night. And this song is how that night went. Said I'd be your first and you'd be mine. We'd be together until the end of time. I laid her down and I kissed her lips. Jeans on jeans and hips on hips. Well, things were going just as we'd planned. She was my girl and I was her man. Yeah, and right before we began, well, I came in my pants. I came right in my pants. Oh, please don't tell my friends that I came in my pants. And she was good to me. Said it could happen to anyone. She said she'd give it a second try. She called the first one a dry run. I set the mood just right. And to make sure what happened last night didn't happen again, I jerked off 4 times before she came over. And then I jerked off 2 more times because I was a teenager and I could do that back then and it fucking felt great. And I wish there were more guys in here because they would get that. And she looked so pretty. She unbuttoned my jeans, no mess. Hello, Kitty. Yeah, and then my hand brushed her titty. And I came on her pants. I came on her lime green pants. What the fuck is going on? I'll never see a vagina at this rate. Yeah, years went by, and we talked from time to time. I met her husband at the reunion. I really liked him. He was a nice guy. He and I were about 8 drinks in. Don't get ahead of me now, don't get ahead of me, don't get ahead of me. When he smiled and he said, you know, man, I gotta tell you, and he said with a grin, I know you came in your pants, and that you came on her pants too. You know she tells all her friends. The guy on TV came in his pants. She started a Facebook page, and it's called Sticky Drawers, where you can tell funny stories about sex. Oh, and believe me, she's told yours. I wanted revenge, I didn't know what to do. We all got drunk and ended up in my room. They passed out first. That's a rookie move. So I came on her pants, and then I came on his pants too. Put that on your Facebook page with a big old fuck you. Guys, I gotta go. Meet me upstairs. I had a really good time with you tonight. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Hey man. Hey man. You know me, I have an ADHD brain. I'm fidgety. That's just kind of the person I am. So I know if I'm on stage with no hat on, I'm going to be running my hand through my hair every 37 seconds. And that's going to get distracting. Do you know what I'm saying?
But I think you should run it through that luscious hair. People don't like that.
Yeah, but
And then slow-mo it.
but it's going to bug me knowing I'm doing it every 35 seconds.
You should run your hand through your hair in slow motion, and then I'll have the DJ play.
Hey man.
Hey man.
Hey man.
Hey man. So you are a Sasquatch guy.
I'm a cryptid guy, or cryptoid guy, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The cryptids and cryptoids. I don't think the Sasquatch is technically, technically a cryptid. You know what I'm talking about.
I
though.
don't know what a cryptid
So a
is.
cryptid is like a skinwalker, or a mothman, or the chupacabra, or
Legend.
mythical.
Right.
But they're called cryptids.
Okay.
So, for me, I'm a big cryptid guy. You know why? Because why the fuck not? I'm in a shirt that says "Let's Summon Demons," and it's got pentagrams all over it.
Yeah, that's
And I'm
interesting.
also in a Winnie the Pooh headband.
Winnie the Pooh, 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 Winnie the Pooh.
Hey man.
Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh.